But here we go, we're getting into our fresh series, the final series of the broadcast. One slot left, one spot available here in the playoffs. We'll see who makes it through out of Group A. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the Canadian Protoss player, we have the blue Protoss representing Basilisk. It is Trigger. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player, the red Terran for Shopify. It is ByuN. Here we go. Here we go, the final series, the final broadcast, the decider match. That's the final broadcast, the final series of the broadcast. This is the decider match. It all ends here. It all ends between Trigger and ByuN. There's only one spot left to get out of Group A, and ByuN already did defeat Trigger earlier in the group, earlier in the broadcast. So we'll see if Trigger can recover, can bounce back. I feel like Trigger was a little bit lackluster in that first series. That we know that he does have it in him to take as a ByuN, but the pressure is on. Pressure is on. For now, welcome once again to Winter Madness. As we mentioned previously, Winter Madness is one of the larger maps in the map pool. You have a longer rush distance by ground, you have a little more breathing room, and there's a higher chance that Trigger can get into the mid game. We saw that Showtime. We saw that Hero was able to place a lot of pressure on ByuN and contain ByuN excessively on two bases. We'll see if Trigger can do the same. ByuN going for the eBay block, late scout by Trigger. Oof, late scout, late realization. Trigger is forced into the unnatural natural. Basically, this probe on the low ground was too late, so there was too much progression, too much health, too much HP on that eBay, so Trigger could not force a cancel, so he's forced to expand at a more exposed, a much more vulnerable location, and ByuN can abuse this. ByuN, he could choose to abuse this, but no, he's going for the CC. So ByuN could have made the decision to go for a reactor into factory before expanding into reactor Hellion, but he chooses instead to go for the CC on the high ground, so we have an economic safe follow-up out of ByuN. It means that Trigger is going to be left alone, but it's still going to be an awkward kind of setup here for Trigger. Still going to be awkward. The probe is found. Trigger, who was hoping to hide it, but it does get caught up by the Reaper. And Trigger, he saw there was no low ground CC. For all he knows, it could be a factory up here or a high ground CC instead. And Trigger's in the dark. Nice shade, nice positioning. As Trigger is going for his Twilight Council. We have his tech of choice. Likewise, ByuN going for his own 1-1-1 into Widowmine drop. Oh. Reaper is zoned away. And the Adept scouts the CC. So Trigger, at least he's aware that it was a faster command center. He's aware it was an economic opener. It's an economic follow-up. Confirms confirms the Marines, no Reapers. And of course, spots the CC landing. Behind this, how many gateways? We have 2 gates in the main, so 2 gate blink so far. We're expecting a 3rd Nexus. Remember, last game we had Hero going 3 gate blink into a more aggressive follow-up. We're not seeing that out of Trigger. Oh, my apologies. I have to eat my words as we have how many gateways? 3 gates in the main. So Trigger is being more aggressive. He also spots the medevac. Trigger, he sees, he knows. As Trigger fans out, trying to catch the Marines. Marines? Medevac, I meant to say. Good. Did not get much sleep. Does force the unload. Very nice catch here by Trigger. At the same time, a Reaper attempted to dive into the main. He shut down. And Trigger defends well. He defends well. Against a mine drop, you usually expect to lose 1 worker per Widow mine, but ByuN never got to the bases. He never got to the bases. More importantly, ByuN also never scouted. He didn't see how many gateways that were in the main base. Didn't see the robo. ByuN sees nothing. As it looks like Trigger was just playing safe. He was just playing safe. Trigger now taking his third base. His Stalker is mainly being used to defend, not to attack. This Trigger's trying to keep up. Oh, nice catch. Trigger catching out a Widowmine. Once again, containing ByuN. But unlike Hero, Trigger, he isn't blinking into the bases, right? He isn't blinking into the main base or into the natural. So ByuN can freely get into his upgrades. Stim is on the way, combat shields. Unlike against Hero, these upgrades will finish up in time. They'll be able to finish up. And Trigger, instead of going to Storm, is going into Colossus. So Colossus production on the horizon. Again, we're building up into the mid-game. The Trigger would soon be getting a fourth base. Assuming ByuN will expand. Observer gets caught. Only one eBay. ByuN could commit with this. He's got his two tanks. Stim is about to finish. ByuN moves out. That does buy some time. Again, I'm curious to see if ByuN pulls the boys. He could. Ah, CC on location, so no two base all in, but a much later third base for ByuN. Much later expansion. ByuN pushes out. Trigger, he responds. He's got his first Colossus already. And Trigger, he wants those tanks. Oh no! But does focus on the medevac. First tank goes down as well. Massive pick of. Gets one, gets both tanks. Nice twist towards the end. And that was not worth it for ByuN. ByuN losing the Raven, the medevac, two tanks, all of his Widowmines as well. And ByuN is in trouble. Oof. ByuN forces them away. And again, ByuN caught with his pants down. Trigger's overextending. There's no need. There's no need to push in. Trigger, calm down. The army is toughened up. Trigger, he's going for it. So late. Can he force a cancel? No shot. No shot. Yeah, better engage. Ooh, as the Colossus does not kite back. Colossus goes down. ByuN holds. ByuN does hold on there. Trigger, again, he had a bit of miscontrol. Did not pull away with the Colossus. But now the second Colossus has arrived. And Trigger, can he get on top of that CC? The CC does complete. He cannot cancel. But he wants to kill. I won't quite get it. Shouldn't quite get it. Again, Trigger's getting his fourth base. Once again, reinforcing. The lack of Widowmines, lack of tanks, I believe Trigger can break this expansion. I don't think there's enough bio here to just to defend. Trigger, he sees the setup. Here come the Warpins. Yeah, there's no SimCity. The boys are being pulled into the Colossi. Nicely got a Trigger. Does swing forward. Picks off all the SCVs. Oof. Even catching a medevac. Colossus pulled away. Again, better trade for Trigger. 14 SCVs go down. The juggling is there. Let's go. And remember, this is all just snowballing out of control because of ByuN's push. Remember, ByuN, he moved out, he got caught unsieged. And it was in that moment that everything swung in favor of Trigger. When ByuN lost two tanks, the Raven and the medevac. Pushing into two tanks here would be so much more difficult for the Protoss, but, I mean, doesn't have to worry about that anymore. They were the first things to go down. And Trigger's playing with fire. Cannot lose the Colossus. Vikings looking for a way in. Getting 10 more CVs. You see the dance between the Stalkers and the Vikings. EMP does push. Oh, Ghost pushes forward. Nice EMP. EMP lands. And Trigger backs off. Yeah, Trigger, he respects the Ghost. He pulls away. He wants none of it. So Trigger, he is about to max. And he's up to how many Colossus? Four Colossus, baby. That's a lot of lasers. Meanwhile, how many Vikings? Only 4? Oh, good. The Viking production has not been continuing here. So very low Viking count for ByuN. There's 1 Viking for each Colossus. That is not good enough. That is a heavy Marauder count though. Colossus, they move forward. Some Zealots, they peel off into the natural. Vikings being targeted down. He gets 1. He gets 2. And picks off 2, 3 Vikings. There's 3 Vikings left. Sure, he has to back off though. He's running out of Zealots. Running out of charge. Lots of Colossus are getting low, but GG gets called as ByuN is overwhelmed, and Trigger, he will take game number 1. Whew, GG. GG well played. Trigger, he does take a lead in the series. Again, ByuN, alas, unfortunately, he just had a very, very hard move out. If you remember, ByuN, he was able to get into Stim at a nice time, into his initial upgrades, +1, combat shields, and then ByuN decided to push out. He decided to move out. He was spotted by Trigger, of course, and Trigger was able to collapse on ByuN unsieged. ByuN, he lost 2 tanks, lost the Raven, lost the Medevac, almost for nothing. And as soon as that happened, ByuN was contained. Trigger, he was able to delay the 3rd base, keep warping in, keep pushing, and was unable to just allow ByuN to breathe. ByuN couldn't breathe, he couldn't stabilize. GG. GG, well played. And with that, Trigger takes the lead. Now we're getting into game number 2. You said 4 hallucinations to avoid the mine. kind of. For those who are unaware, whenever you hallucinate a worker, specifically a probe, or I guess a worker, if you hallucinate a probe, then 4 hallucinations spawn in. That is also why hallucinating probes is really good for scouting, because with 1 hallucination you can get 4 workers that can fan out in 4 different directions and scout for proxies. The downside is that workers they're limited to terrain, whereas a hallucination Oracle or Phoenix Scout doesn't care about terrain. So technically a Phoenix will scout faster, like as they do like a rotation, for example. But if you're looking for proxies, then that's when probes or hallucinated workers work better, because you can like fan out in multiple directions. If you're referring to that Widowmine shot, Trigger, he did hallucinate a worker to tank the shot, but again, 4 probes like spawned in, so it was a little bit more awkward there. Bit more awkward. Like, technically, if ByuN was paying attention, he could have actually punished Trigger and retargeted. Because there were 4 hallucinations, ByuN could have just retargeted to 4 different workers if he had known that it was hallucination. That's the other thing, right? Because it was 4 hallucinated workers, it's possible that ByuN didn't retarget because he believed they were real. And so there's like a higher chance you bait out the mine shot, right? The mind games. But spawning is the left-hand corner of 10,000 feet. We have the Canadian Protoss. We have the blue Protoss for Basilisk. It is triggered. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player. Sorry, the red Terran player from South Korea for Shopify. Down in the series, we'll see if you can bounce back. It is ByuN. Oh, as the probe is unable to block the expansion. I think I want to say delays for like maybe a second or 2, but ByuN does go for a more economic start. Racks expand on the low grounds. But again, I do wonder if the hallucinated worker response was intentional for Trigger, just because it's so juicy. like for an opponent to see all 4 probes, and if they didn't see the initial hallucination, to let the mine shot go off. Regardless, ByuN scanning for proxies. Does move out, does check. And again, welcome to 10,000 feet. We brought this up earlier, but 10,000 feet is a much more aggressive map. Usually I do favor Terran players in this, just because the likelihood of the Terran player moving out and actually successfully getting across the map unimpeded is much higher on these smaller maps. The Protoss player has less time to engage, less time to respond, less time to warp in. Ooh, as nice pick up here, the SCV goes down. Trigger, he does delay the expansion. Punishing ByuN's low ground. Trigger does pull away. Second adept has arrived. Will not delay the CC any further. But hey, he gets Marine. Gets Marine, gets 2 Marines actually, 2 Marines and an SCV. Not the worst trade. Assuming Trigger gets away. And he does. Trigger does pull away. At the same time, behind this, we have a Twilight Council into Blink. How many gateways? We have 1 gateway in the main base. We have 1 gateway on the natural. 2 gate blinks so far. And we'll see if Trigger goes for a faster expansion. He does not. Oh my god. That's a lot of gateways. As he throws down 2 more, the 4 gate blink, hyper aggression out of Trigger. Okay. I'm not too fond of this on 10,000 feet. If you remember, we've spoken about this before, but specifically on this map, rotating from the entrance into the main base, this is the blink path, the blink entrance into the main, and the natural, you can see how far away it is. Like the distance between this entrance in the main and the natural is so long. One of the advantages, one of the scary things about 4-gate blink is rotating, right? Is to be your ability to be mobile and rotate, bam, main base, bam, natural, back and forth, and the Terran player having a hard time keeping up with your rotations. Here, specifically on 10,000 feet, it is easier to keep up with rotations just because it's harder. It takes longer for the Protoss player to go back and forth. So I'm not too fond of it. The drop into the main base reveals 3 gateways. ByuN, he's somewhat aware. He sees 3 gates in the main. He's aware of just at least some of the gate counts. And nice delay. Focusing down 5 probes. Oh my god! 6 probes going down. Nice damage here by ByuN. At the same time, Hellion pokes in. Hellion scouts the 4th gateway. He knows. He sees every single gateway. Back it up. We have a bunker on the way. Tanks are getting in position. ByuN is getting ready. His trigger's coming. Here come the Stalkers. Here comes the War Prism. ByuN is aware. His tank is set up on the low ground. His main base is more exposed. And Trigger's going for the main. Oh, wait, is he? Wait, what's... okay, going for a split push. He's going for the split push. We have the main army here towards the natural. We have 4 Stalkers into the main. Marines are in position. At the same time, Trigger, he does try to get into the mineral line. ByuN, he responds well. Oh, the Prism! Yeah, the Viking pops out. The Prism is going to go down. Massive pickup. Oh, my god. Yeah, Prism goes down alongside 2 of the Stalkers, and that means no high ground vision. Trigger, he cannot see the main. And ByuN holds. ByuN does hold on. He now focus on the natural. Now, on the one hand, ByuN did lose 7 SCVs. That is true. He lost 7 workers here at the same time across the map. The Raven Harass kills 2 probes. And remember that Trigger's 3rd base is late. Remember, this is a late 3rd base for Trigger. Why is it late? It's because he got an extra gateway, because he warped in more Stalkers. Right? This was a hyper-aggressive build from Trigger, and he was hoping for more damage. He failed to do so. That is why the supply is in favor of ByuN. There is a supply disparity here. ByuN is ahead. Trigger needs to do more damage. Oof. Even here, unable to get the SCV. Trigger, he rotates. The Observer is headed. Oh no! The Observer gets spotted, which means no high ground vision. Trigger cannot get into the main base. And the opener of Trigger has fallen on its face. He's fallen on his face here. It's been a very, very rocky start for Trigger. Behind this, going for the Bay, going for Colossus. mining's being denied. Now, ByuN, he currently has a 3-rack setup here. When he pushes, he could expand like last game and get a 3rd CC, or he could just double down and pull the boys. I'm curious to see which is it's going to be. Which is going to be here. Observer gets sniped, which means Trigger cannot see what's going on. +1 is going to finish later, so it looks like ByuN should expand. As ByuN, he does want to punish, forcing the recall. There's that CC. It's going to be on location. And this pushing. The tumors have expired. What do we have to defend? We have the Colossus in position. Trigger, he's mainly in position at his 3rd base. Meanwhile, ByuN is pushing towards the natural. Trigger keeps up, but again, the supply just isn't quite there. And nice spread. Nice spread here by ByuN. But the tanks are too far back. He has to push forward. I believe these tanks are within range of the Robo. Oh no! Yeah, the Robo's exposed. It's going to force Trigger's hand. Trigger, he has to engage. Oh, as Raven attempts to go for the armor shred. Nice split there by Trigger. And nice split as Zell take a lapse in. Tanks stay focused on the Colossus. And the Colossus, one more volley, the Colossus does go down. But not enough Bio. Yeah, not enough Marines, not enough Marauders. With that Trigger, he will clean this up. And can he keep going? Again, that was a clutch fight, but in the end, ByuN, he just could not maintain his army. And Trigger, he might just keep going. No shot. Yeah, he could just keep pushing here. Up the control. The Marauders being focused down. This base is going to be cancelled. Massive pickoff, and ByuN's in trouble. He's in trouble, Vappy. The Colossus has arrived. There's a cancellation. It was almost done as well. And ByuN is hurting. He's stuck here on 2 bases. He is hurting. He's going for a 2nd starport. Trigger's getting a 4th base while ByuN just now begins his 3rd. And again, that fight could have gone so much differently here if the Raven shred, if the armor shred had actually connected. True. But at the same time, maybe ByuN was also tunnel visioning a little bit too much on the Colossus themselves. And sure, he got them, but it wasn't quite worth it. And with that, Trigger's just getting further ahead. Establishing his 4th base. He is staying on a very low gas count. You can see here only 1 gas at the natural, no gas at the 3rd or the 4th. So very heavily reliant on Zealots. Once he takes more gases, then he can afford, say, a 2nd Robo. Working towards Disruptors. Or Storm. Now there, Trigger just focusing on the main army. And based on the setup that we have here, Trigger should never allow ByuN to expand. ByuN doesn't even have the Academy. The Academy is still in the way. No Ghosts, no EMPs. The Viking count is looking decent. He's got 6 Vikings. Remember, he has 2 starports. So he's got a decent Viking count. You can see ByuN getting in position to expand. And Trigger needs to stop this. Takes off one of the mines. We have a sea of Zealots moving in. Now, is there going to be an EMP available? There is. Okay, there is going to be. There's 3. There's 3 Ghosts. There's a scan. Trigger, he rotates to the left-hand side. There is 1 Widow Mine here in position. Never mind. Does on borrow. Trigger, he's getting a 5th. He's maxing out. And Trigger is maxing. Oh. EMPs, they raise the army. Vikings, they go to town on the Colossus. Can they get 1? Oh, he can. 1 Colossus goes down. He gets 1. He gets 2. But no control there. It takes down 2 of the Colossus. Now going for the 3rd one as well. Zealots are getting choked up. Nice kiting here from ByuN. And nice kiting as the Vikings, they just annihilate everything in the sky. And ByuN holds. And ByuN holds on. There was just not enough anti-air here. Not enough anti-air, not enough stalkers. The Vikings just had free reign on 3 Colossus. Oof. Trigger misrallying. And again, that was a very strong fight for ByuN. That should have otherwise ended the game. But not enough stalkers. Too many zealots. And again, the prison was too far back, so there was no micro, there was no control saving the Colossus. The trigger is back for round 2. He attempts this around. We get an OK force field catching out the ghosts, catching out some marauders. So I'll say do peel off into the mineral line. The Colossus is on A move. And Zealots are trading well. Yeah, they're trading well for themselves. At the same time, Trigger does not have enough. Yeah, there's just not enough here. The Colossus. Colossus force back. Stalker's getting caught out as well. Very nice engage here by ByuN. And Trigger's just been too wasteful. He's just been too wasteful here. And again, too heavily reliant on those Zealots. He never took any extra gases. Never took extra gases here. Very all in from Trigger. And ByuN snowballing out of control. He's snowballing out of control. Catching out more probes. ByuN is now ahead. He's out economically, but ByuN has a massive army. An army that currently cannot be dealt with. Now, there are storms available, true. So with a couple of well-placed storms and disruptor and purification overs, Trigger can pull this off. His first storm, nice. And nice first storm. Colossus goes down once again. But that kind of momentum and map control that Trigger once had, it's not there anymore. It's not there anymore. Trigger now down to 4 bases. Down to 63 probes. Snowball's crazy army. Trigger setting up for the run by. Attempts to set up for the run by. And once again, Trigger, he's maxing out, but this is a very subpar army. He has Storms and a Disruptor. Like, again, there's always potential with Storm and Disruptors. But Trigger's heavily reliant on that. The Novas have to land. If they land, then Trigger can win the fight. You can win the fight, you can end the game. Trigger moves in, first Nova zones. No major connection. Snipe goes off. Ooh, doesn't quite connect. Trigger, he breaks the snipe. Breaks the lock on. See Trigger getting ready for a Zealot run by. Trigger's maxed, and the longer this game goes on without Trigger doing anything with this maxed out army, ByuN is getting further ahead. ByuN's army is more efficient. Like, it's just a better army. It is higher quality. So the soup does lie. The soup is lying. That's a lot of Zealots. Mass EMP on the charge lots. Both Novas go off. Now the Novas are on cooldown. Only Storm remaining. Just the storms. Disruptors have recharged. He's got up to 3 disruptors. Trigger does catch a couple of ghosts, okay. Oh no, high Templar! Ooh, losing 3. 3 high Templar go down. Massive pickoff. Yeah, miss rally, miscontrol there by Trigger. Nova goes off. Nice splits out of ByuN. Yeah, a couple of Novas graze the army, but overall a better trade for the Terran. At the same time, a Zealot run by is attempted. Attempts the run by. ByuN is keeping up. Oh. Trigger does get a ghost. Ghost goes down. 13 SCVs as well. He's getting into the mineral line. Okay. Trigger, he does get some damage. But the main army fights go in favor of ByuN. Yeah, ByuN's main army is still superior. We lose 14 SCVs. ByuN down to 41 SCVs. ByuN doesn't really have much of an economy, but again, it's the army that's terrifying. There's 2 disruptors and 3 High Templar. The Templar just got warped in. Trigger trying to come in from behind. Once again, nice kiting here by ByuN. Oh, never goes off. Ooh, much better connection. I want to say the best connection we've had so far. Catching out some of the ghosts. But again, Trigger is still just struggling here. Doesn't really have the economy. It's on 65 probes. I'm Sims in. Gets a disruptor. Oh my god, massive EMPs on the main army. Vikings they just chase down the Colossus. He gets 1. Yeah, the Vikings they just chase down, but only gets the 1 Colossus. Wasn't quite worth it. ByuN is down to 2 Vikings. He's down to 2, but ByuN does take down the high ground expansion. Trigger being bullied back. And again, Trigger, he has no bank. He has no bank. He cannot max out. He cannot remax after the fight, which is meant to be his advantage. There he goes off. One's a good connection. But the 1 Nova is not good enough. The Ghosts, they just tank it. They tank the Nova, and with that, ByuN, he has done it. He will take the fight. He just shuts down the main army. No more Colossus. Disruptors. There's 2 High Templar left. Trigger trying to go for the Zealot Rama. Gets spotted by the tower. And Trigger, he plummets in supply. As we mentioned, the soup was lying. The supplies were deceptively close when really it was heavily in favor of ByuN. Just comes down to the quality, the composition. And again, Trigger, he was so close to winning this game. Like, Trigger, he was so far ahead earlier. When ByuN was on 2 bases and Trigger was getting a 4th, like, that was a big moment for Trigger. But he never took his gases. Or I say he never took it. It took so long to take gases. It took so long to tech up. When we saw that secondary fight, we saw that Trigger was just too heavily reliant on Zealots. He lost all the Colossus immediately, and Trigger, he lost map control. He lost it then and there. Lost control of the game. GG gets called, and ByuN, he ties up the series. We are going to the ace match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We're going all the way to game 3. Again, Trigger, he almost won this game. It was almost a 2-0. Trigger, he was ahead. He was up 2 bases. He was almost maxed out. But again, he was staying on 3 gases for far too long. He chose to remax on Mass Zealots, which means he couldn't protect his Colossus. He did not have enough anti-air. The Colossus, they went down instantly to the Vikings, and the Zealots could not engage because of the Sim City of ByuN. GG. GG, well played. After that defense, ByuN, he just slowly got further and further ahead, was able to build up on his 3 bases and just outscale. just outscale. And with that, we're going all the way to the ace match. We're going to be loading into White Rabbit for the first time tonight, for the first time in this broadcast, the final game of the series and of the broadcast as well. Let's go. Let's go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the Canadian Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss for Basilisk being forced into game 3. Can he bring it back? It is Trigger. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran for Shopify. It is ByuN. Un momento. Okay, we're back. Okay, we are back. Oh my god! As we are going to be opening up, my apologies. As we have for the first time this series, I believe, double gas opener out of ByuN. Meanwhile, Trigger going for a standard opener himself. The probe scout is here, and we'll see if Trigger gets further in as he gets locked into the main. Trigger will have the option to recall to save the probe, but it's too low. Yeah, the probe has taken too many hits. He does go in for the further scouts, gets eyes on one gas, and gets eyes on the other. Okay, so Trigger, he gets a full scout, but he will lose the worker as the Reaper is on the way. Still being annoying. Still being annoying. Probe will fall. And from here, sorry, with a double gas opener, this means that the factory is going to be faster. It means that the the CC is going to be delayed. And from here, we can go into what is a more tech-heavy start. So we'll see how aggressive or where ByuN takes us. Pilot console opener out of Trigger. We have ByuN going for the reactor into potentially add-on swap. No, okay, going for the Widow Mine drop instead. Setting up for the mine drop. Trigger building up to Blink. Also, welcome to White Rabbits. I didn't really get to discuss it, my apologies, but White Rabbit is one of the larger maps in the map pool. Larger map, longer rush distance by ground. I will say one of the big features of this map is not just how large it is, but how much distance there is between your own bases. Specifically, the triangular third base and the linear third. These bases are very, very spread out. We've seen many players struggle to keep up with aggressive rotations and struggle to defend their initial 4 bases. Because of that, we have seen some players, especially Terran players, expand forward towards their opponents, towards the center base, to be able to expand behind that center base and set up on 4 bases a little bit easier. So we have seen that. Meanwhile, extra gateways are being thrown down. 3-gate blink. Trigger, he did see the CC on the high ground, hasn't seen much else. He's aware of the add-ons at least. He's aware of the reactor marine. And the drop is coming. Yeah, 3 Widow Mines across the map. Trigger, he doesn't spot the drop. It's outside of the natural. He's got a spotter pylon. He's got a stalker here and patrol in the main. Sorry, in the natural. Spotter pylons here in the main base. Buenos dias, patos. Buenos dias, buenos dias. Bienvenidos. As the mine drop does come in, but Trigger's in position. Yeah, Trigger's ready. Base out the shots. So far, nice defense. So far, so good. Oh. Drop back into the natural. Drops one more Widowmine into the natural base and gets one probe. No, nice retargeting. Ooh, doesn't get any workers though. Trigger, he does react in time, does pull away, and he will lose 2 probes in the main. And not ideal, but he does snipe the medevac. Medevac goes down and cleans up all the Widowmines in the end. And it was a better trade for Trigger. I would have said better for ByuN if he had saved the medevac. But the medevac did go down. Trigger counterattacks back at home. Tanks are getting in position. There's one tank in the natural bunker as well as a tank that's about to pop out in the main base. Decent Sim City. ByuN has the tools to defend. Oh, that's a lot of stalkers though. Remember, it was 3 gate blink. Late third, late expansion, extra stalkers, extra gateways. Going for the bunker. Does miss a volley though. They shed into the mineral line. Bunker should go down. Barely does. Bunker falls at the same time. Auto harass across the map, getting 3 probes. Trigger, he reacts decently enough. Oh, it's a kill. Kill auto cancel. Blinks into the tank. Tank goes down, but the Marines do punish. That was so far a better trade for Trigger. Gets a tank, gets a bunker at the same time. The auto turrets, they get 3 more probes. 6 in total. And ByuN holds. And ByuN, he does hold on. He's still got 2 tanks in position. Blinks into the main. Tank is waiting for him. Oh, can we get on top of Stim though? Stim, oh god, that was not worth it. Not worth it. We saw that Trigger, he tried to wedge himself in the corner here, but the tank was still within range. Trigger is punished. It's 5 stalkers going down. Oh, Trigger, he rallies into the tank. He gets punished for that as well. Stalkers get picked off here, and Trigger is losing too much. He's bleeding out far too much. 7 stalkers falling. Again, these stalkers are meant to build up over time. This is a little bit better for Trigger. He does pick up a handful of Marines. A better trade for Trigger, better control. The bunker was not rebuilt. Oh, Trigger, does he see an opening? Yeah, both tanks are here towards the natural. The Raven continues to harass. Trigger, he sees an opening into the main base. He can go for the add-ons. He's going for the tank. Not quite. Trigger is zoned away. Never mind, I didn't see that tank further back, so there's a tank in position. ByuN is fine. ByuN now getting a 3rd CC. And after a very intense early game with slowing things down, Trigger taking up into charge, meanwhile ByuN building up into 3 bases. After all said and done, I feel like I prefer ByuN's position. I know, Trigger, he was very wasteful. He was very, very wasteful. Towards the end, he had some better trades, and now finally he gets a tank. He gets it. Tank goes down, a couple of SCVs as well. Just the one. Soldiers they pick in, they don't quite get the forward tank. Again, sniping these tanks is important just because there's no more tanks, right? There's no tech lab on the factory. There's no more tank production. There's only 2 tanks left. What you see is what you get. So if they go down early, it does mean that the Terran player is going to be that much weaker defensively back at home. There would be an opening. So we get spotted. The Academy on the way for Ghosts. Force a blink away. Forcing a fight in the open. Hey, baits ByuN out. Forcing out the stem. Meanwhile, that Raven, that auto harass continues. And Trigger, he commits in. Oh no! Yeah, Trigger, he miscontrols. The Prism goes down. Zealots go down as well. Trigger throwing away a chunk of supply. Does get into the main base for some damage at least. But it feels like miscontrol at a Trigger. It feels like he just went in a little bit too soon. Trigger, he was premature. That Raven is still out there. That Raven has 16 kills on the Raven. Ay, ay, ay. The MVP Raven, baby. He's not done, by the way. It's full HP Raven. Just keeps going in, killing 3, 4, 5 SCVs, sorry, 5 probes at a time. Speaking of, Raven's back. Gets 2 more probes. As those two tanks, they move forward. ByuN, he establishes his third base, and you can see that Trigger, he's looking for an opening. But you can see that ByuN's just turtling up. We have depots, we have widow mines, sensor towers as well. There is an opening here on the right hand side. True. Trigger, he finds a way in. Better concave for Trigger. Zealots, they peel off into the mineral line, and SCVs are going down. Not many though. Yeah, Zealots are on A move. Only gets 2 SCVs. Now does try to focus fire, but only 4. Only 4 SCVs go down. Trigger jumping into the main. Essentially, as you're seeing here, Trigger's doing everything he can to try to find a weakness in the defenses of ByuN before ByuN maxes out. Like, the win condition for ByuN is just turtle. Just turtle until maxed. And then ByuN's almost there. He's almost maxed out. Remember that ByuN is working on a superior composition of Viking, Ghost, Marauder, Bio. ByuN just has to survive at the same time. Prism into the main. Prism gets in. SCVs are finally going down. Massive warp into the main base as well. Okay. Trigger, he is finding some damage here. Getting 6 SCVs, a gas geyser, a couple of depots. Tanks exposed, gets 1. 1 tank left. Oof. There's 1 tank remaining. 10, 11 SCVs. Not bad. That Raven is still finding more damage, by the way. 21 kills, 22. God. That Raven's crazy. 23 kills on the Raven. Still full HP, by the way. And it's not like it came back home to be repaired. Like, no, it's just been chilling. It's free damage. As ByuN breaks out, he breaks out. He's got 5 ghosts. Down to 7 Vikings. Does get the first Colossus. First Colossus goes down. Trigger has to respect it. ByuN just now getting his second starport, a little bit late. Second starport's on the way. The Raven finds more damage. Can we get up to 30 SCV, 30 probe kills? Can he get 30 probes? Ooh. This never goes off. Decent connection. I'll soften up some of the ghosts. The other Novas are lackluster. Raven is still active. Nice little run by. Does distract ByuN. Yo, we have a flanking disruptor. Okay. Cheeky moves out of Trigger. Never goes off. Ooh, does connect. Yeah, massive connection here as Trigger. He's baiting the army further in. And he has that flanking disruptor. Telewarpins into the main base. Oh, we can use it, Pappy. No, we can use it. Never mind. Yeah, Trigger focusing on the drop. Does get another warp in. Another warp in does finish. More Zealots into the mineral line. More SCVs are going down. Nice harass here by Trigger. He harasses well, but what about the main fight? As that's going to be 21 SCV kills. Ay, ay, ay. The Raven is still out there. That might have been an F2, which is why the Raven went back home, but now moving back out. Again, that Raven has 25 kills. Can we get 30? 30 kills. Again, there's no shield battery here. There's no cannon. There's no static defense. Trigger units in. Nova does clip the army. Nothing major. Prism is zoned away. Numbers are clashing. Oh my god, mass Novas. Some of them do connect, but Trigger happy there from Trigger, panicking a little bit. Okay, Novas are connecting though. Some decent Novas, and Trigger, does he have enough? Vikings are landing. Not enough Zealots. Yeah, not enough Zealots here, not enough not enough support. Never mind the Stalkers are barely breaking through. Colossus comes into support as well. Okay. Trigger, he's doing it. There are the Zealots. Oh, they came in. I think they were harassing at the natural, but okay. Zealots, they come into support, and Trigger, he takes the fight. Does take the fight. Viking count gets completely reset. No more Vikings. Which means Colossus can excel. Yeah, 0 Vikings left. Most of the Marauders, most of the Ghosts all went down. It's down to 1 Disruptor though. Did lose all of his Disruptors. But Trigger is at least containing ByuN. Meanwhile, Trigger getting a 5th. His 5th base is getting up. There is a little bit of a lull here. So you had some DT harass. Is that Raven still alive? No, the Raven went down. Oh no. I don't think got 30 kills. The poor Raven. Did so much for ByuN. And maybe that's a sign of things to come, because Trigger's almost maxed. Trigger is almost maxed out, and without the Raven, what can ByuN do? True. This Raven's gone. 6th base is now on the way. Trigger, his wing condition here is deny the 4th. Deny the 4th expansion as best he can. Vikings, they push forward. They're being focused down. There's 2 Vikings left. 1 Viking remaining. Some rough losses there for ByuN. Zealots, they do catch reinforcements. More Zealots, they peel off towards the 3rd. The main army towards the 4th. And ByuN's just being pulled apart. Oof. Yeah, ByuN is being pulled apart. Zealots are still catching reinforcements. Meanwhile, SCBs are still going down to the 3rd. And ByuN, he cannot keep up. Oh my god, Nova goes off. Ghosts go down. And Trigger, he's done it. GG gets called. Trigger, he'll take the series 2-1. Trigger, he'll advance on into the playoffs. ByuN is out of the tournament. GG. Whew. Hi. GG, well played. Trigger, he does advance on into the playoffs. Congratulations. ByuN, he fought his heart out here, and again, we had some very impressive harass across the map. ByuN, he was almost able to take a lead and almost able to establish his 4th base, but we did see some brutal fights towards the end. Again, the harass was amazing for ByuN, but eventually Trigger, he got into the main base with that War Prism. He was able to get into the main base. Warpins were continuing, SCVs were going down, ByuN's intention was being split, and we finally saw some juicy Novas, some juicy connections in those final fights when we saw Trigger panicking. Basically, it was a panic Nova where he sent out like 5 Novas at once, but they connected, and Trigger, he barely won that fight. And what that meant was that Trigger could deny the 4th. He won that fight, which means he could maintain his presence in the center, deny the 4th base, and ensure that ByuN couldn't expand. He couldn't maintain his losses, he could not keep up. GG, well played. Congratulations to Trigger. Oh my god. Congratulations, GG, well played. My condolences to ByuN, as ByuN is out of the tournament, and we can quickly catch up on the bracket itself. We can catch up on the bracket. Oh, Here we go. Initially, ByuN beat Trigger. Again, it was a much shorter series, a much more aggressive series out of ByuN, but ByuN did take down Trigger 2-1. Hero took down Rogue 2-0, and that led into the winners match, where Hero took down ByuN 2-1 to advance on first into the playoffs. We then had Trigger having a spicy back and forth versus Rogue, where Trigger eliminated Rogue from the tournament, and of course, Trigger just eliminated ByuN from the tournament as well. So Rogue and ByuN are out, Trigger and Hero are in. GG well played. If you remember our predictions were that Rogue would be the first out, so that we were correct on that one. And I was torn between Hero and ByuN or Hero and Trigger. We were referencing Trigger series versus Clem and how Trigger's been looking, and also Trigger's recent performances against Max. I will say that Trigger's beaten Max like 4 times this week. It's crazy. 4 different series, I should say. But Trigger's been popping off. I wasn't too confident in Trigger's PvZ, but he did make his way past Rogue, and again, he had a very close series versus ByuN. This could have been a 2-0 as well. Remember, Trigger, he was up on 10,000 feet. With Trigger, he was maxed out, he had double the bases, but he overextended, and he was overly reliant on a low gas economy. Like Trigger, he just got too overconfident. He got too overconfident in game 2. That allowed ByuN to have a crazy comeback. Otherwise, again, I could have seen that being 2-0 in favor of Trigger. And here in game 3, we had that back and forth as well. Honestly, it was looking better for ByuN initially as he established his 3rd base, but ByuN never got his 4th. He never got his 4th base up and running. He tried, but he could not maintain it. GG well played. And with that, congratulations, we have Hero and Trigger advancing on. ByuN and Rogue are out, and we're going to be wrapping up our broadcast for the morning. For those that recall, our schedule here is going to be ready for you. Bam, there we go. So we have our schedule. Now, unfortunately, we weren't able to cast Thursday and Friday. Again, some things have been happening IRL, and I just haven't been available to cast. Unfortunately, you know, we've had some medical issues in regards to our bunnies, and they've been taking medication. They're going to be having an operation next week as well, so have been looking after them, haven't been available. But this weekend, I should be more free. So as you can see here, we have a double cast of Rongyi Cup. We just wrapped up with our morning cast this Saturday morning, and this Saturday evening, we're going to be back with Group C. Group C is going to be this evening, Group B is going to be tomorrow morning, and Group D is going to be tomorrow evening as well. So 4 broadcasts, 4 groups of Rongyi Cup. Half of them are going to be via replays, so Group A and Group B are from replays. Group C and Group D should be live. I'm a little bit tentative about whether or not I can cast this evening, but things are looking like we should be able to. I might be a little bit distracted, but should be able to cast this evening. Should be okay. So 7 pro kills in the fight, 32 kills. Oh, there you go. So it looks like potentially 32 kills in that Raven. No. The Raven was crazy. But yeah, GG well played with that. Congratulations, and we'll be back this evening. It should be in around 8 hours. In around 8 hours time, we should be live with a Group C live cast. This time of Group C should be there. Otherwise, thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, and again, we have a full weekend of Rongyi Cup. Again, I do apologize for us not being able to cast much in January. Again, there's just been things happening IRL, we just have not been available, and the same should be said for the first part of February as well. But the second half of February and March should be better for us. Should be better. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for an enormous donation of $6.90. Thank you, baby. Thank you. We do appreciate it. I mean, you can see it here. I was referring to we've been unavailable. We've been a little bit unavailable just because there's been a lot of medical issues with our pet bunnies. There was an update of that. There's a video that we uploaded on our Discord. There's a video on Discord going into that a little bit more in depth. But vet bills have been insane. It's been like $4,000 spent on vet bills over the past like 3 weeks. It's been crazy. It's been crazy, but yeah, you know, they're our bunnies, part of the family. So again, they are recovering, and everything should be okay. As I mentioned, there's going to be an operation next week, so hopefully everything's okay. They're able to recover. But that's also why I haven't been able to cast, because I've been looking after them, of course. So I just have had less time available to cast throughout the course of the past month. And yeah, hopefully everything goes well. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time. We'll see you guys later on tonight for some more Rongyi Cup. See you then. Bye. See you then.